In today's fast-paced society, something deadly has begun attacking the human race. Behind all the paranoia of terrorist attacks, the fear of losing our freedom of speech, the over-implementation of safety regulations, the constant reminder of life-threatening diseases such as AIDS, the Ebola virus, and cancer, a far more sinister villain has begun to spread its terror. Involuntary procrastination disorder, the Indecisive Killer.
Involuntary procrastination disorder, or IPD, is exactly as the name suggests, bouts of uncontrollable procrastination. Currently, we have no process by which to study this, as we don't know where it attacks or what pattern it is spreading. There are two main strains of IPD. One is the part-time sufferer strain, or PTS. The other is the full-time sufferer strain, or FTS. PTS is the most common form. Sometimes the bouts are very severe and they can last from a couple of minutes up to a full day. We don't know when these will occur. Sometimes they will affect the individual in many different parts of life, or just one part of their life. For example, their school life.
To gather a more in-depth insight of the PTS strain of IPD, we have found three subjects who will be interviewed about how the illness has affected their lives.
I guess IPD began to take its toll on me when I was about 15 years old in Year 9. My ability to focus was severely diminished, especially in math. Every time I came into class I would just lose control of myself and wreak havoc. My classmates acted similarly, and I thought this was just because we had a really poor teacher and hated math. But it turns out my classmates and I were suffering from IPD. I was scared. I didn't know what this was. Turns out I'm a part-time sufferer, but this is no consolation to me.
Since being diagnosed with IPD 4 years ago, Brett has been feeling the effects ever since. He is now easily distracted in class and feels it has been the main contender in his current inability to work to his full potential.
I was just along here in 107 where one of my probably most infamous bouts of IPD happened. We were in Year 9 RE class and we were preparing a special liturgies assignment in the chapel just over here. Now we were allowed to go back to the classroom to prepare our liturgies, but we had to be back by the time the other group started their presentation. So when we got over here, we decided, I think we'll play some indoor cricket. I went through my bag and I found a math book and I decided to use that as a bat. Oh, it's locked, but I decided to use that as a bat. So anyway, my turn to bat, I was batting quite well, and then I saw a bee. And being allergic to bees, I wanted to try and kill it instantly. I followed it around for a little while, but I couldn't get it. Then he sat down on the windowsill. That's when I knew I had the little bastard. So I lined him up. I swung at him with all my might, but then I lost my purchase on the math book. It did hit the bee, but it just went flying straight through the window. Smashed everywhere. We walked around for about an hour trying to find someone to alert to the mishap. If my IPD wasn't so bad, maybe we would have been doing what we were told. Maybe that piece of glass would still be there today.
Since Brett's diagnosis, he has continued to suffer and will most likely do so for the rest of his life. Our next subject has been suffering PTS in his sporting career since the age of 13.
My rowing has constantly been suffering as a result of my IPD. My determination to win has been struggling against my determination to sleep. I have been known to fall asleep at the beginning of races. In fact, earlier this year I was at Nationals in Tassie, and I fell out of my boat at the 750 metre mark of my first heat because I knew I'd passed through to the repechage. It's not good. It was the strongest attack of IPD that I've suffered in my 6 years of being diagnosed.
However, Paul has learned to deal with his illness. He has taken up other hobbies in which he allows the IPD to take its toll, rather than trying to resist it. Our last PTS subject has been diagnosed with IPD for the last 2 years, his home life affected by incredibly powerful bouts of IPD.
I've been diagnosed with IPD now for 2 years. My bouts are more severe than any other part-time sufferer that I know. A typical bout will start with me on a computer, talking to people for hours on end, and it will get to the point where I am so tired that I can't even be bothered going to bed. In fact, I might actually be suffering 2 bouts at once. You see this hair? I've had this hair now for 3 years, even before I was diagnosed with IPD. You think I like this hair? No! My IPD, I just couldn't be bothered getting off my ass long enough to go and get a haircut. As it has also removed my ability to effectively communicate with people. You see, nowadays I will only speak in this monotone frequency. IPD has completely phased out the multi-tone frequency from my tone of voice. Some people will have you believe that IPD is not a real disease, but that is crap. They do not know the agony that IPD sufferers have to face every day of their life.